Welcome back to Talkin Shop with ShopSabre. I'm Brandon, back with the gang for another episode. We have Kyle back in the building, though. That's nice. Kyle, welcome this week.
Thank you.
We missed you last week because we didn't know what we were doing with this thing. We got somebody that got mad at us because we were too quiet because I didn't know how to play with the volume button. My bad. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing good.
We got Chad,
If I was any better, I'd be Travis.
Nick,
I guess I'm doing really good. So
and Travis.
I don't have a cast on my hand, so I got that going for me.
2 more days, Chadley. 2 more days.
Chadley. Dude, you can't just take your cast off. You need to let it heal
The
right.
doctor's going to take it off on Thursday.
Yeah, I bet he doesn't.
If he doesn't, I will, and nobody's going to know who did it.
Meanwhile, he comes back with stitches. What happened? Oh, nothing.
They'll take it off.
the die grinder got into my arm.
Then I had to go back in and tell him why I need stitches. I decided to take it off on my own.
On the damn broken hand.
I've made a huge mistake. That's funny. Yeah, it's, 2 weeks now almost since you got that bad boy on.
2 weeks ago, yeah, Thursday.
Hey, you're going to take some pictures for my family this week. Maybe we could choose a really sandy spot on a rock.
I'm going to throw you in the river is what I'm going to do.
Make sure it's also not near any roads. So if there's anybody driving by that needs some assistance, they don't stop in on you. Suppose there's no paramedics here at this point. So,
True story.
Did you ever hear that story?
I did not.
No.
oh jeez,
Story for another time.
yeah.
Love it. What'd you guys do this week? Anything fun?
It's 90 degrees and sunny.
Dude, 90 degrees in Minnesota in the end of September.
I stayed inside all weekend.
We golfed both days. We
Really?
were out Saturday and Sunday.
That's cool. I did yard work. My lawnmower ones start on Saturday, so that was cool. I had to take that apart to make it run on Sunday.
I bet you my lawn's being mowed right as we speak.
Nice.
The neighbor kid's coming over and doing it.
I like it.
Nice.
You want to come do mine?
If you want to pay him, I'm sure he'll drive out there.
Sure, I'll pay him.
How much do you
He
have to
just
mow?
got his license.
You got like what, 2 or 3 acres you have to mow?
I have 2 acres to mow.
That's still plenty.
Too much.
Just have your wife do it. She's good with the mower.
Yeah, that went well the last time. Broke the mower.
Do you pay the neighbor kid, Chad?
Well, of course. I don't think people work for free.
You never know.
He's,
No, he came down. They stopped me yesterday right after I got home.
he's like, your yard looks like shit. Can I mow it?
No,
It's like 12 inches long and needs a mowing.
It's not that bad.
Mine
I
is.
would pay somebody to do it before it got that bad.
That's funny. I always enjoy it when somebody walks up to you and asks if they can mow your yard because I'm like, is that your way of telling me my yard looks like crap?
No, they're in high school now, and
That's cool.
they got little go-karts and dune buggies that they're always playing with, and they needed some
They
money.
need money. Yeah. Can't fill those things up for free.
They need money. I need my lawnmower. So
It's a win-win.
It's awesome.
Now that's some customer service if I've ever seen it.
exactly.
figure
Scares
out
me
how to
though
work
when
that
I
out.
walk out of their garage and they're both like standing there.
Waiting for their money that you haven't paid them.
Well, no, waiting to ask me. They saw me like pull into their garage and then come running down the block. And I open up the door and they're like, "Hey."
I know we just cut your lawn 2 days ago, but can we do it again?
Especially in the hood of Richfield, thinking you're getting jumped.
Yeah. That was not it at all.
Not it at all. Yeah, they would have drove over in their dune buggy, but they didn't have any gas for it. They needed to walk down to get some for you. They're like, hey, can I use your gas to mow your yard?
Yeah, he's using my mower and grass.
Is he?
And gas, yeah.
And then charging you? Solid.
Well, I mean,
Do you get a discount because it's your stuff?
I think I paid him okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's good.
They're nice kids. If they weren't like outside all the time and
Yeah.
like
No, it's pretty cool, though, that you're doing that. You know, obviously, rather than just paying a service, just pay the neighbor kids, let them do it.
Keeping them from playing video games.
I think I paid for half of the dude's new car. Well, it's not a new car. It's like a 04 Buick Century, but
One of those ones where you fill it with
it's new to
gas
him.
and it doubles in value.
Fill it with gas and it doubles. Like that one. That's good. But yeah, what did we talk about last week? Bunch of things. It was a good time. I don't remember. We talked about a lot last week.
Customer service.
But yeah, customer service, I think, is where we were going to go today. We want to talk a little bit
I don't
about
remember
customer
what
service.
else though.
I don't remember either. It was good, though. I remember that.
That was fun.
But, oh, yeah, it was being prepared for the future and getting ready. So, obviously, year end's, kind of approached. And can you guys believe it? Already October.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Like it's the year end. Like it's not approaching. It is the year end.
We are in it.
The fourth quarter is here. It's crazy.
I've worked here for almost a year now. It's crazy.
No, we know.
Yeah,
By really fast.
seems
I
like
won't
much
forget.
longer.
It seems much longer.
I think
But we
Hunter's
like you.
been here about a year too now.
Who?
Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter. Yeah, he's been here since November. Yeah,
It's Hunter.
Hunter. He doesn't have the T. 2 N's, no T.
November, it'll be 7 years for me. Sorry, guys.
Oh boy.
November is 7 for you? My God, I knew it was a long time, but not that long. Wow. 7 years for you in November. Were you October?
December 9th.
You were December 9th. Not that you know the date or anything. Wow.
By my birthday.
Look at this. You guys are all rolling up on the same dates.
I only knew because I looked at a little app to see how much PTO I needed to use. There's a little thing down there with the birthday cake that said December 9th.
Oh.
So that's when I knew.
Just trying to figure out how much time off you needed to take.
Seems like a trend here. Brandon's going, oh shit, it's the year end. I need more help.
It
Everybody's
seems like
getting
it,
hired
yeah.
at the end of the year.
Seems to happen at the end of the year. I'm starting to notice a trend here. You're right. I hire a lot of people in November, December. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, that kind of goes along the lines of, with the year end, it gets busier and
Yep.
whatnot. And obviously with us, we expand, and that's where customer service comes into mind. And that's kind of what we ended with last week, Chad. You kind of brought it up again, talking a little bit about customer service. And it's one of those things where as you dive into that topic, customer service is a big part of the business, if not the most important part of the business, because as you kind of look, and hopefully people listening are thinking about their businesses, your customers can buy from you for a variety of reasons. But I am a firm believer that the majority of the people buying from you are buying from you because of you, because of who you are. And I think the biggest downfall to a lot of small businesses out there is that they don't have the time to be themselves. They get so busy doing the mundane work and the stuff that they don't necessarily, as the owner of a business or the manager of your business, you shouldn't necessarily have to do all the time, that they wait too long to expand. So, as an example, when you start a business, and Nick, maybe you can talk a little bit about this because obviously you're a small business in some way with your, side hustles, and you're one man that does it all, right?
Yep.
I mean, you handle scheduling, you handle, your billing, you handle it all. And I think you have to when you get started, right? You can't afford to have all these people. But as a business gets bigger, and we can look at ShopSabre as an example here, is now we have a sales department, and the sales guys handle the selling. And then we have a customer service department who helps with, assisting the customer after the fact. And we have people who handle the accounting. And you have different various departments, which allows those areas to be more concentrated, right? I mean, historically, you're going to get better one-on-one attention with a small business, right? Because you're talking to the one guy that does it all. But eventually that one guy can't do it all. And the issue that you run into is your customer service takes a hit. So customer service can be really great when you have 5 customers. But once you have 5,000 customers, one guy handling it all it's a lot harder for that person to do that.
100%. And then you start missing on the little things and the simple things that keep your customers happy, whether it be, returning phone calls or emails or messages for scheduling whatever, collecting payment, whatever it is. You can't do it all. You have to have, like you said, those different areas of people to take care of it for you.
Yeah, and that's to me what customer service comes from. And that's what I'm saying here is as a business, as you start to think about, your year end and you start getting into this time of year, and it's crazy because I've found in the time of me doing what we do here, the year end is different for so many different industries. Mm-hmm. Like our industry specifically and the customers we deal with, it seems like the year end gets busy, right? Everybody's got to get stuff done before the end of the year. But there's a whole bunch of industries out there that the year end slows down too, because it's not, it's the holiday season and people aren't buying their product or whatever. Like as an example, I have a friend of mine who actually owns a swimming pool company. They build swimming pools. Not a real busy time of year for them,
Probably winter's probably not so good.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, this time of year, it falls off. Like his busy season is wrapping up right now because he's been building pools all summer long. And so obviously he's not going to be, doing as much right now, but he's going to start to think about ways to make sure that next summer he's better prepared. Right now is where he starts investing. Like he said, he's investing in tractors and things like that because for one, it's Section 179. He's like, I know I'm going to have to, he said, I have to write a check to somebody, right? And he's right. It's what we always joke about here is you're going to have to write a check to somebody. Like at the end of the day, your business is going to owe taxes, so you might as well invest in yourself. Send the money to ShopSabre and get something for that money versus sending it to the government and getting nothing in return for it. Yep. So it's a decision you should be making right now. But the point being is that you can be investing in equipment right now or processes or things like that in your business that are going to help you get through the busier times and do things, but also reward your business in terms of freeing up time from really important people in your business. You know, as an owner, if you're the guy sitting there cutting the cabinet still or cutting the sign or painting it or whatever, like, is that probably the best usage of the guy who's running the whole place?
No. It'd be a big no.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot more, you know, again, you as a business owner, if you can get out in front of your customer, I mean, who knows the business better than the owner of the company?
Nobody.
No one.
They just,
Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, well, reality is they don't. Like, the guy who founded the business knows why he founded it truly, right? He knows how it started. He knows the ins and outs. He knows how he got there. Who can tell that story better than that person? Nobody. So if that guy's stuck in the shop for 80 hours trying to get caught up on things, is he out there networking? Is he out there talking to other businesses? Is he out there turning, you know, potential prospects into clients? No. He's busy in the shop trying to get caught up. And so that's where I think the handcuff happens to most businesses, is that they're just afraid to take that next step. And that's where it really hampers their customer service.
I agree.
And I would say one thing too. I mean, since we're obviously a CNC company, customers that are on the fence about buying a CNC or not buying a CNC, what I always tell customers is, first off, if you're that busy and you're already reaching out asking about a CNC, you need a CNC. You already know that. You're not sitting there just guessing that it's going to probably be good for your business. But if you're also the guy that's in the shop doing all the work, well, who's outbidding the job? So what are you doing? Finishing the job, and then you have to go find another job to get your backlog. So I think that's where, again, these CNCs that we're selling are so easy to run that you don't need somebody that's very skilled, that has a high education, and you don't have to pay him $1 million. And while that guy's running your machine, you could be outbidding other jobs.
We have a Travis. Just kidding.
I'm my own tax deduction for ShopSabre.
We are kidding. We truly enjoy Travis. He's great. Total joke. But the point being is that you do hire people, and you know let's look back 7 years. I can't believe it's 7 years, but it, in all seriousness, does not feel like 7 years. But 7 years ago, like, I was swamped. I mean, I was doing all of the sales myself. I was trying to keep up with the sales, the marketing, all the other stuff going on, and I couldn't keep my head above water. Like, I was just really struggling. And honestly, my solution to anything was always just work harder. And so I just didn't sleep as much, and I ended up working longer hours. And finally, it was, you know, it was starting to affect me. And it came down to where Jim's like, we're going to hire a guy. And I was telling him no. I mean, I was telling him we're not hiring anybody. And Travis ended up being the guy that got the job. He applied, and obviously we interviewed people, and he ended up being the guy that started. But, like, I couldn't provide the customer service any longer that was necessary because of the fact that I was only one guy. And adding Travis at the point essentially doubled it, right? It doubled the capabilities, and we grew. I mean, Travis, you and I did it a long time together. You know, it was you and I in a very small room making a lot of phone calls. But we were able to do a lot more, and it allowed me to have more time talking to customers that needed a little bit more attention. And obviously you were able to handle some of the other stuff to help me. And right away, you weren't in sales necessarily, right? Right away, you were helping me. I mean, you helped me with a lot of the back end work and transitioned your way into sales as you learned the company and the product. And obviously, when you and I went several years before we had to hire another guy, which happens to be the guy sitting to the left of me.
That was me.
Yeah. That's you.
Well, for me, thinking about it, when I first came in, obviously I could see how high strung you were. You were there before me and there after me every single day.
Yep.
And I always felt bad. But you legitimately would be like, there's nothing else you can do. You got to go home. And I was just sitting there like, that's why I wanted to learn as much as I possibly could to make myself more valuable to you and the company.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to that statement of, it's not that I didn't want you to do the work, but who knows the business better than me?
Correct.
Like, I knew the knowledge of what needed to be there and what had to be done. And in the moment, you hire this guy in November, and out of nowhere, he can't, he jumps in. He can't just take that load off your back, right? I mean, right away, he's got to learn the job, and it's the busiest time of year. I don't necessarily have the time to stop what we're doing to teach him everything he needs to know. But yeah, like you said, you want to jump in and help. And it was just kind of like, you can help me with this stuff along the way, and you'd have to learn as we go.
Yep.
All I heard was you used to let Travis leave early.
I let him.
What?
Yeah,
I guess we need to rewind and go back a few years.
Yeah, I let him leave early in the way of he didn't leave at 8:30 at night like me. That was the difference.
All I heard in all of that was Travis got to go home early because there was no work to do.
Well,
Plenty of work to do.
there's
I
plenty of
was
work to
pretty
do.
worthless in the beginning.
Oh, wait a second. That's the second best thing I've heard.
Yeah, that's the truth. No, but yeah, like I said, of course, Chad got to go home early.
And Travis is worthless.
Don't forget that part, right? But the point being is the customer service would have been hurt if we didn't start making moves. And as a business owner, you're sitting there listening right now, maybe driving on the road in your truck, and God knows what time you're listening to this at. Maybe right now it's 3:00 in the morning now, and you're just finally getting around to listening to us. And it's because you're so busy right now that you're having to work long hours. And I want you to think about that, because you can't just run out and buy people. It's not something you can do, but you can run out and buy a CNC machine. You can run out and buy equipment, and that helps the people you have, right? There's not enough people in the world right now that have the skill set that maybe you need for your job. I realize that. Nobody's going to beat you. Nobody is going to outwork you, but they will complement you. And that's the thing, is if they can take off some of the little stuff, as you said, Travis, you didn't know all the skills right away, but you took off some of the load off of my shoulders and the things that anybody could do.
Yep.
And it allowed me to focus my time on the things that not everybody could do.
Yep.
And we grew. And obviously it helped us, and now we have a much bigger, team here.
Well, I was going to say, when I started thinking about the one guy who would update customers who bought machines, coordinate the shipping, order parts that were needed in the back, all in one person.
Yeah.
You're walking in the building, and most of us are right there, and it was like under 10 people in the office some days.
Isn't that crazy?
It's wild.
Yeah, it is funny, because even when you started, Chad, we had, how many people do you think existed in the company when you started?
I don't know about in back, but I know the office, it was like 10 or 15 in the office.
I bet we were 30, 35 employees probably when you started.
I was
Probably.
going to say about 27 was my thought.
And then I remember when you said, I'm going to hire another sales guy. I was like, well, I don't know if we have all the work for that. Like, I'm pretty sure I can do more.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, no, we need to, and we need to do this, and we need to do that. And I didn't really fully see the vision
Yeah.
right away. But here today, it's like,
Yeah.
everything was necessary, and it was a bunch of little small steps. It wasn't like 10 people walked through the door day one and started doing different tasks. It was like we hired one person here, and then one person here, and then something there, and then something there, and then all of a sudden here today we have so many different systems and departments where everything gets handled so much smoother, and you don't have to go through just one person to get maybe 3 different tasks accomplished.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you say that, because you and I had a conversation last week, Chad, about some of this, and we were talking about upgrading. We were talking about customers and wanting to upgrade systems and things like that. And like we were talking about how I've upgraded the sales tools and some of the stuff we have at the shop to make your guys' jobs more efficient. I won't use the word easier, because I'm not making anybody's jobs easy. I'm making jobs more efficient so we can do more in less time. And that's the way business owners need to view this technology and things like this for your shop. I hear so many managers and business owners that say, I'm not out there to make these guys' jobs easy. Like, that's a poor mindset. Like, that's not a leader. That's a manager. A leader is somebody who wants to help you accomplish your goals. A manager is sitting there trying to force you to accomplish your goals, right? Like, hey, you're going to do this. Like, that's poor management, in my opinion. Like, that's just somebody you don't want to work for. Not a long-term success. I am looking to accelerate everybody. Like, yeah, can I make your job easier? Probably. It's kind of what I'm trying to do.
You could do it for me.
Yeah, like I could do that.
That would make it a lot easier.
Yeah, exactly. But that's exactly it. I'm not trying to do that level of it,
Yeah.
right? Because, that
It doesn't make sense to anybody.
correct, exactly. But to make you struggle through something that I can solve, like, that's just poor management.
Well, yeah, I think you saw like where the turbulence was, or like where it wasn't flowing smoothly.
Correct.
Bottlenecks.
And then slowly started picking up. Was that a better word? Bottlenecks?
I like bottleneck.
All
Yeah.
right. Where things were bottlenecking and slowly started fixing little issues that
Yeah.
loosened the bottleneck. And
Well, I've always said to everybody, you don't solve every problem in one try. Like a lot of times, okay, as an example, the problem starts, we don't have enough work. So you up your marketing, right? Or whatever you gotta do so you can get more sales. Now you get more sales. The bottleneck is no longer in sales. It's now in, I gotta produce all this product. Where do I do that? So then you upgrade your production, right? Well, now the problem is I gotta ship it all. And so it's like you just move the bottleneck until everything flows better.
Yeah.
So it's it's kind of like you can put more water through your faucet, but ultimately the size of the nozzle determines how much water is coming out.
Yep.
Right? And then you put a bigger nozzle on it, and then, you keep moving down. Now the drain matters because if you fill it up too fast, it doesn't drain fast enough. So it all trickles down till you have the whole system upgraded. And, it's kind of a big part of business is you have to start upgrading your bottlenecks. And it's going to affect your customer service if you don't. I mean, because at the end of the day, it all leads back to one thing, and that's customer service.
Yep.
Your customer service hurts if you can't do the job.
And I think the most important thing on what you just said is to try to fix that bottleneck before it's too late and be ahead of it.
Yep.
And put the pieces in place to, make it move smoothly ahead of
Yep.
time rather than try to dig out from a hole you're already buried in.
Correct. No, I agree with that. I think, it's a perfect example of that as you don't build the bigger drain before you work on everything else, right? Like doing the wrong thing also is just inefficient. Cool, I got a big drain, but there's no water. Doesn't really matter at that point how big the drainage system is if there's zero water. So you still have to have the flow of business. But yeah, there's going to be times where bottlenecks do exist, and it's part of that learning curve and that growing pains.
Well, nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever going to be perfect. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
especially dealing with people.
Yeah. No, it's one of those things where as you kind of look at it, dealing with people in general, it's it's a variable. People, I learned this a long time ago from my dad. Is he always said that like the customer will kind of pull you in the direction that they want you to go, and it's the truth because
Absolutely.
you can go into every business situation like with a plan. This is what I'm going to do. And then suddenly your customers start telling you this is what you're going to do, and you're going to do it because guess what? The customers are the ones paying the bills, and if they aren't going to buy the product, it's one of those things where you can sell anything that you love, right? But if nobody else wants to buy it, you're going to sell what they love, right? Your product really needs to tailor to what the consumer is looking for.
Yeah.
And that's a cycle thing. I mean, it changes every single year. We see a sales cycle change a little bit. What consumers are looking for, ultimately, what's important to them. Some of that stuff changes. But the thing that I feel like has always been important to people is customer service.
You always know when you're getting bad customer service.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
Like my 40-minute phone call with Samsung last night to talk to somebody.
It's terrible.
I mean, I got the problem fixed, but 40 minutes to get a hold of somebody wasn't ideal.
Last Friday, I went to a restaurant here in Minnesota, and I hadn't been there. in a long
Name
time.
it. Just kidding.
Hey, man.
Do it.
Put them on blast.
Put them on blast. Exactly. I don't do that. But
Yeah, me neither.
it's
You just did the Samsung.
They got my problem fixed. I gave them a good survey, but the whole thing would have been so much better if they gave me an offer to call me back
yeah.
or answered the phone quicker. I got to somebody immediately, and it was like, oh, I got to transfer you to the monitor people. And it was like, okay. And then it was 40 minutes from that point where it was like,
Yeah, you're right. They'll leave a message and
Yeah,
we'll call you
like-
back when we have
A
somebody.
lot of
and then you
places
can
do
just-
that now,
yeah.
and I absolutely love it because I can continue doing what I need to do in my day, and they just call me when they can make it convenient for them, and hopefully I'm available.
I just got my phone in my pocket on speakerphone. But,
Yep.
I mean, if I had a gripe about something, that would be it. Again,
Right.
my issue was resolved with a cable problem, but,
So which restaurant were you at?
So I was at a restaurant, and the thing is, we hadn't been there in a long time. And my son, Ethan, wanted to go because his older brother was actually gone at a birthday party. And so it's like one of those few times when you get time with the younger one. And he's like, Dad, I want to go to pizza. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we went, to this restaurant that serves pizza and other foods. And we went in, and it was such bad service that, like, it was noticeable. Like, it got to the point where, like, me and my wife joked about it. I felt like I had done something wrong and might get fired. Like, it was such an uncomfortable environment. Like, there was a ton of people in there. But, like, we saw our server once. And then after that, some other person started taking our order and like taking care of us the entire night because they kept walking by and noticing we had empty drinks or, we're waiting on something. And they just kept helping. And that person helped us the whole time.
Wow.
And I never saw our server again. And then by the end, the server then I think realized she had probably messed up, would make eye contact with me from across the restaurant and then turn away. Like purposely was trying to avoid me. And I'm like, you're our server. Like at some point you have to come over here. And they never did. Never came back to us. And the point being was like, it was just not a great experience. And then on top of it, the food wasn't that great, to be honest. It was pretty bad.
The chicken wasn't good with the pizza?
The chicken wings were pretty good, actually. But
just trying to narrow it down a little bit to where you were.
I already know where we're at.
Yeah, but my point being is that it's going to make me never go back there. I will never go back. Like, it's not that like, oh, maybe I'll try. Like, I've been to this restaurant several times, and it's always never been that great. But it was so bad this time that it's just like, I'm done. Like it's just not like there's a million places vying for my business. If you can't give me an hour's worth of your time to like make it enjoyable for my family, I'm just not going to do it. And unlike Cherryberry, I went there after it, and Cherryberry, that place is awesome.
Do you think it was they didn't have enough people? Do you think it was
they had
mismanaged?
people. They had plenty of people. It was mismanagement, 100% mismanagement. The people was not the issue. There was plenty of hostess, plenty of servers. I mean, there was plenty of people walking around.
So she wasn't like running around. With
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No. Yeah. Like
sometimes you get the shortages where you kind of.
And
like,
I respect that because there's times when you walk in a restaurant and you're like, that server has 14 tables.
Like,
she doesn't have the time to get to my table. No, like not the case at all.
Yeah.
Like the server next to our table was the one who kept taking care of us. And I'm like, she has time to take care of her own tables and now she's helping us. Like it ended up being, kind of a rough deal altogether. You could tell that gal was frustrated too because she was trying to make it a good experience for us, but like wanted to basically say, this isn't my job.
like she was the one that actually cared.
Yeah.
Well, nobody else did.
And that's the thing is like the worst part is, she wasn't getting the tip because it's all on that electronic system. So my wife and I purposely went out of our way to not tip on the electric system, and I gave her cash. Because I'm like, I just walked up to her. She was walking around. I'm like, here you go. Because I'm like, I want you to get tipped because I don't want it to go on this other person's tab and then her get credit for it. So, but it's just that point of customer service. It's like a lost art nowadays. And the problem is so many people have just accepted bad customer service nowadays.
which is crazy to me.
It is.
When I used to get surveyed off of customer service,
And you still do. I mean, your industry, the car industry still is that way. But like, and ShopSabre's gotten really good about that. We survey, for customer service as well here. But there's a lot of industries that just don't care. And you know why they don't care? Because they know it's bad and they don't want to have to do something about it. Because they don't know what to do about it.
I think it also goes back to what we talked about last week. Like the mom and pop shops, you still get the good customer service at, but it seems like the big stores and like the big box stores, they just know that people are still going to come there and shop, so they don't really have to take care of people, and they just don't care.
See, you're probably right, but it's frustrating because, like, as a consumer, we allow it to happen. Like, if everybody stopped shopping at certain places because of the customer service or stopped accepting, the perfect example is import products, right? How many times have you heard friends, family, customers say, well, I bought this product from so-and-so, but it's from overseas, so it's kind of to be what you expect from it. They just they validate it. Like, it's okay that the customer service sucked because it came from overseas. Like, why are we supporting these products then? Stop supporting products that aren't going to take care of you. And that's we work very hard, I feel like, to take care of our customers. We go above and beyond in a lot of cases. And it seems like every time something doesn't go perfect, like the guilt that I have of like, oh my God, we got to make this right. We got to see what we can do. I don't know how people can live with themselves giving the customer service that I see sometimes. Like, I wouldn't be able to operate a business the way some people operate their business.
Probably the people running it don't have as much invested into like he was saying, if it's like the manager of like a corporate store, like they have no care to the betterment of the corporation, because you end up just being another cog in the wheel.
And that was like me. I tried using one of these services to aerate my yard and get rid of weeds and whatever. And I paid them a premium. I mean, most of the people that I talked to said, whoa, you paid that much? And I was like, well, I didn't know what it costs. But since it was a big name, they do golfing events and stuff like that. You see them on TV. I'm like, oh, this place will take good care of me. Absolutely not. And I can tell you guys now, they work so hard to try to get my business back. every single time that I talk to one of them people, and I'm like, I know this isn't you, this wasn't your account, but if you would have spent this much time to try to keep me happy while I was a customer, I'd probably still be a customer.
Yep.
But now you want my business so bad because I'm not a customer, but you seen I was for only a summer. Your notes are going to remain the same. I'm never going to come back to you.
That's like breaking up with a phone company. You ever tried breaking up with a phone company?
I've been with T-Mobile since I was 15.
Try breaking up with them one time.
See, but that's like me with Verizon. Everything's AI now. I can't talk to a
Dude,
real person.
I just found out the other night. I tried calling the place.
That is
it's horrible.
That is a good thing you just brought up, though. Think about a phone as a good example. Like, you've had the same phone company for how many years? And they offer all the good deals and the free phones and everything to the new customers, but don't ever
Correct.
take care of the ones that have been paying their bill for
Correct.
15 straight years to the same company. Like, how does that make a customer feel when they're just like, oh, well,
I get those emails all the
nothing
time.
we can do for you, sorry.
Free phone, free phone. I'm like, oh, sweet. I'm going to look at it. Add a new line.
Yeah.
You need a new phone number. Add this, add that. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm already a customer. I've already got your service.
All I asked T-Mobile for was unlimited minutes. I want anytime minutes.
Anytime minutes.
That's a thing.
Free long distance.
I don't need to call long distance. I don't like look at any of that stuff. Like my phone bill stays the same. I've always been happy. Like if I've ever needed something, it's happened. I've had no reason to like see like, oh, you get this for free and think that I'm just going to start switching and going different places. I'm happy, and they've never done anything to piss me off. So until that happens,
Then they're in trouble.
well, no, then I'd probably be like, kind of upset about this, but I'll pay my bill on the 30th.
You've really inconvenienced me, but I'm going to send the check tomorrow.
Have you seen how long I've been a customer?
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
I'm basically the face of ShopSabre.
I'm basically like T-Mobile's longest customer.
Oh, my God. I wonder how many people have been a T-Mobile customer longer than you, Chad.
I wonder how long they've been in business.
T-Mobile?
Like how long it's been T-Mobile.
Well, I graduated in 98, and that was 25 years ago, and that was who I heard my first phone with, so at least that long.
Well, I probably got my...
You got your continue?
Well, no, I'm trying to think of how old I am.
He's looking at the ceiling.
And when
doing
I
math.
got my phone, because I've been with them, I bet 22 years, I guess. Because I got it when I was like 14 or 15, and I'm 37. So
By a little bit more time, but I don't have the answer.
I have the answer.
what is it?
December of 1999.
What?
So I mean, I'm
Really?
3 years into them being a business. I bet you I'm customer number like 125.
Yep. They T-Mobile actually became a company on September 2nd of 2001. Was actually when they became a customer.
And it would have been like 2002.
Yep.
Trying to think of
They were voice stream
I'm
before that.
calling
Is why.
them. I'm calling them.
They
I'm
were
figuring
they
out.
were voice stream before that.
interesting. You should find out what customer. That'd be sweet if you actually could find that out.
Call up and your customer number 6.
I guarantee you I'm a longer customer than most of their customers.
Yeah. No, I bet you that's true.
fascinating.
We really got off topic there. Everybody listening just tuned out. They're like, what the heck are these guys talking about?
No, they're relating. They're like, yeah, customer service sucks with those guys.
They're going to be like, T-Mobile has bad coverage.
I tried T-Mobile out for 90 days. It was terrible. I couldn't do it for where I travel.
See, but it's different for us. So, like, for the longest time, when I was 14, I got my first phone. I was with Sprint.
Yep.
And my dad had that.
The
because,
Nextel. Do you guys remember Nextel?
Yep.
Ba-doop.
Yep.
You're the coolest guy ever because you had a walkie-talkie.
And
You
as
can
long,
submerge it 300 feet in water.
Never had any reason to, but I could.
Cares?
as long as you stayed north of Prior Lake, you were always good with Sprint. And at my parents' house, we had it good just on their hill. But then when I moved to Lonsdale,
On the hill. See, he lived on the hill.
my parents lived on the hill, not me. But yeah, once I moved to Lonsdale, horseshit. Everything was horrible. I had T-Mobile for a short period of time, Sprint, and then I went to Verizon. I've been there since and can't find anything that beats them, but their customer service sucks.
Yeah, I've had Verizon now for a long time, but I was gonna switch to AT&T, and then
I think they got bought out, didn't they?
no, they're still AT&T.
I feel like at this point we need a phone sponsor for this podcast.
This sponsorship is by Boost Mobile.
Power 80.
Is Boost Mobile still around?
Yeah.
What is happening?
I don't have any idea. But we were talking about customer service. We ended up way off topic. But I mean, the reality is we're just talking about how you have to invest in your business to be able to produce the customer service that you need. And really focusing in on the customer and their needs is really number one priority. I mean, even when it comes to this podcast, like what we do here, I always try to take the feedback that we get. Like last week, like I said, I had somebody that was fairly upset at me because we were fairly quiet. And I've played with the volumes today, and hopefully things are better. And hopefully
I can hear it even in my headphones because the feedback that I got last week, I kind of remember it was being a little quieter.
Well, I hopefully fixed it now today. And let's see if this works, though. ShopSabre.com.
Even that sounds
Seems
louder
louder.
in my headphones. Yeah.
When are we getting the new site?
ShopSabre.com. We'll be live next week.
It's exciting.
Yeah, hopefully. Next week.
I haven't even signed off on it yet, though.
You will get to test drive it on Friday, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, true story.
That's sweet. I'm
You guys
excited
are
to see
gonna,
it.
all you guys are gonna get a test version of it on Friday, and then you get to play this weekend with it and list all the things out you like, don't like, so I can fix them before we go live.
It
That's
does look.
exciting.
It does look really awesome, though.
You've seen
Really
it?
sweet.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
well.
Nick's,
I know
See
where
where
I'm
we're
at
at
in
on the
that.
totem pole. Yeah, we're down
Nick's been
here.
involved in all the meetings with me.
The sales guys are falling down the totem pole.
We kept all the notes you guys gave us.
No,
and
you guys
made
aren't
sure to-
falling down the totem pole. It just got taller.
Oh, fair enough. I'm excited to see it.
Same
though.
spot.
The
Taller
last
totem
time,
pole.
the last time you updated it was awesome.
Yeah,
Right.
well, it's crazy to believe that the last time we updated it was like,
Shortly after I started.
yeah, it was many, many years ago. And that was not even that, like, the actual revision on the website was like almost 9 years ago was the last real revision on the website. And then we've done an update 6 years ago, 5 years ago,
It would have been 5 years.
5.5 years ago is what it was. Yep.
I'm sad to see the orange go.
I'm not. There's not supposed to be orange on our website. Such a mistake. But yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome. I mean,
It's really good.
the new
It's
website
really good.
looks really slick. I think a lot of our consumers are really gonna like it. There's a lot more interactive features on it, so I'm really excited about this launch.
I'm excited to see it.
It's gonna be sweet.
I remember the last semi-revision was super awesome.
Yeah,
Because when I started, it was,
hot garbage.
I mean, archaic.
Second to hot
It
garbage.
just-
Not
it
as
just
bad
seemed
as
like
when Kyle
archaic.
found it from 2002.
Kyle found it from 2002, and he was like, "Good God, what is this?" So Kyle,
It's going to be like a 5,000% improvement.
I'm super
I mean,
stoked.
it's that much better and that much different.
The current website's not that bad, Nick.
Well,
that's how good this one's that good. Sad part is I didn't even take offense to that because that's really how I feel too. I really believe
Just
it's
the
that much
look,
better.
the smoothness of it, the ease of use, everything that the
I agree.
customers are going to see and be able to do is going to
That's
be
awesome.
10 times easier to navigate. Everything's going to be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be something special. I think it's gonna really it's gonna increase the customer experience a lot.
That's awesome.
Good.
Just in time for the fourth quarter.
Just in time, yeah. So people can go explore it and learn a lot more about our equipment. But
And the financing.
yeah, we
no
have
payments for 90 days.
we can talk about that.
Oh,
Talk about it.
can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about it. We have no payment for 90 days right now on new equipment.
Geneva Capital.
But the thing that people should start thinking about, we talked about it briefly last week, was that Section 179 stuff.
Yep.
We're going to do an episode coming up in the future. Hoping to do an episode with Geneva Capital to talk a little bit about taxes and financing and things like that, just to start thinking about the year end. But, it's something that people need to start thinking about is that there's tax calculators out there that you can calculate your amount of savings. And, a lot of people are, again, it goes back to this earlier part where you're going to write a check anyways. It's like, you got to think about that because I think so many business owners are blind to that right away that they don't realize that, like, you're writing a check. Regardless if you buy a machine or you don't buy a machine, or you buy the software or you don't buy the software, you buy whatever you need for your business or you don't buy it, you're writing a check. Like at the end of the year, you're gonna. So you should talk to your tax person because more than likely, Section 179 will help your business.
100%.
And that's the thing is, what does it cost you to talk to your CPA? Probably next to nothing. They'll
Is it
probably
like-
give you the free advice.
Is it like calling the lawyer where
Yeah.
it's $100 an hour?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think it's even close to that. Like, but seriously, if you call them up and said, "Hey, can you look at what we've done this year? Let me know what you're thinking I need to spend." I'm willing to bet you a lot of them would be willing to run that because they'd rather put you in a better spot too.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So that's what I have on Section 179. I mean, I don't need to get too deep in the weeds there. We kind of went on kind of long about customer service today. I didn't really leave it for you guys to talk a lot about what you wanted. But
Well, I think with the no payment for 90 days, they wouldn't have to pay any, most cases, nothing
Yeah.
down, take a tax advantage, and then start paying on the machine next year.
it's basically like hiring an employee and not having to pay him for 90 days. It's kind of cool.
A really good employee at that.
Travis, can I not pay you for 90 days and just see how it works?
I'm not going to make my 7 years.
Fix the glitch.
You just have to go see payroll.
Just gotta go see payroll.
They
Go
probably
go
already
see
got my
payroll.
box waiting for me.
Go see accounts payable. Yeah, no. I again apologize. I didn't leave you guys a lot of time to talk today. But any topics that you guys wanted to cover, anything that is on your guys' mind that you wanted to go through? Nothing today.
Topics today.
Yeah, today. What are we talking about next week, Chad? Nothing.
Nick winning fantasy football this week.
He did win. He did win. He did win with 3 minutes to go in the game yesterday.
And getting my cast off.
Maybe. You might
don't
get
know.
your cast off.
Travis, any help?
I'm thinking, man. I mean, we actually had a really good conversation on the customer service topic. I didn't expect it to go that long.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I just want to make sure that we open the floor up, obviously, if you guys got anything you wanted to cover. But, obviously, we're going to, keep hammering it out. We're going to see what we can do to keep improving on everything we do for our customers. I think one thing we can talk about a little bit next week is going to be related to just manufacturing processes. I think it's something that businesses should really start thinking about is just the way you're manufacturing your product and the processes that you're using. And we can start talking a little bit about, the difference between some of the outsourcing versus, doing stuff in-house. And, I think as a business owner, you got to start thinking about some of that stuff. And I think there's a lot of businesses out there that have been outsourcing, paying other people to do things. And as things kind of, tighten up, a good place to increase your profit margin is going to be bringing stuff back in-house. The work might be slowing down a little bit out there, but the reality is the profits don't have to. I think a lot of businesses will find that if they stop paying somebody else to do the work for them, the work they are doing is plenty fruitful.
Absolutely.
And I think if a customer's looking at what they pay somebody outsourcing right now, I was just talking to a guy last week that didn't realize he was paying this guy $76,000 a year just for his signs.
Woo!
I told him, I said, you just paid for your machine and some. Now your lead times are going to get lower. You can customize on the fly, not have to send a new thing over. $76,000 for just this one thing.
Woo!
And he didn't even realize how many other projects he can do with his machine. So once I started talking about it, I'm like, dude, you probably just made yourself well over $100,000 by investing in this machine.
Now he's going to keep that money in his pocket, plus
Correct.
make more profit and cutting
Correct.
his own stuff.
And I guess the guy that he's been outsourcing to actually wanted him to quit paying him to do his work. He's so busy. He's just like, man, I get it. You're helping me, but I've already got too much work.
And that guy's probably
76,000.
overcharging because he doesn't want to do the work.
It's a lot of money.
Every time you say 76,000, I'm just gonna keep wooing.
I had a guy tell me like 20-some thousand.
It's crazy.
Woo.
I mean, it's great. Woo. That's one of the. I mean, but you think about that, like $26,000. That's half quarter of the machine.
It's still a lot of money.
Then multiply that by the, at least 10 years you're going to get out of your machine. That's
Correct.
$250,000.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's silly.
You're gonna spend $250,000 over 10 years, and you own nothing when you're done. Like you literally own nothing, and that's the thing is you've paid that guy's machine, tenfold.
At his house.
And his house. You've paid some of his house and his kid through hockey, and his
First year of community college.
first year. Community. Yeah, it's definitely not private school. But no, it's it's the reality. That's what you got to start thinking about. So, obviously not going to get into that this week. We'll talk about that a little bit next week, the manufacturing processes. But, hopefully this week you started to think a little bit more about your customer service, what you're giving, what you're, receiving, and really just start forcing that push for better customer service out there. Because if each business raises their customer service by 10%, that's a huge increase in customer service expectations.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we're not asking you to change everything you do, but just give 10% more. Do 10% more than you were doing today for tomorrow and see where you're at. And, I think you'll find yourself in a better spot as a business, moving into next year.
I agree. We got a lot of exciting stuff going this fourth quarter too.
Yep, a lot of exciting stuff. If you're ready to make the move, contact sales. Sales@ShopSabre.com is the email. And you can connect with one of these guys. Or if you want to connect direct, Chad, how do they reach you?
Chad@ShopSabre.com.
Travis?
Travis.
Chad.
Travis.
Chad.
TRAVIS @ShopSabre.com.
Travis at ShopSabre, Chad at ShopSabre. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, X. Yep.
I heard me and Chad are going to be making a TikTok video here coming up.
TikTok.
So that'll be
You guys are gonna
a
be
good place to
sprinting.
follow us.
I guess
It's
we're
gonna
gonna
be
have
you shaving your beard.
Yeah, he's definitely losing that beard this year.
Oh boy,
It's definitely happened.
had to bring that up, didn't you? Got 2 more months to figure this team out. Just don't give up on it yet.
I think
You're shaving.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're losing this bet. I don't know how to say it nicely, but
Only
I think
3 games behind. There's like 10 weeks left.
your team doesn't look like
piece
it's
of
ready
cake.
to set the place on
I
fire.
got some things in the works. It's happening.
Good, I like it. But with that, I'm Brandon.
I'm Chad.
I'm Travis.
I'm Nick.
Thanks for talking shop with ShopSabre.